Hey guys, it's Emiliya here and you're watching my first video on my channel. I will try to upload videos on a monthly basis, so if you enjoy, like and subscribe. I do electronics as my primary job and that's why the channel is called Bullet Journal Engineer. In my free time I make journals to organize my busy schedule. I've been making bullet journals since 2012, so a lot of notebooks have passed through my hands. But I'll tell you my story in another video. Today I will review the Dingbats Earth collection and share with you my first steps through setting up a new bullet journal. In fact, in 2021 I used the orange Serengeti Dingbats Notebook, so after we have a close-up look at this one, I will show you how it behaves after a year of everyday use. So let's get started. I ordered it through the official site of Dingbats and arrived in 5 working days. Since it is packed, I carefully cut the package with a model knife to not damage the pages. Be extremely careful because 5 years ago, out of enthusiasm, when unpacking, I cut the cover of my bullet journal. I love how eco-friendly are Dingbats. They use degradable and recyclable materials and only certified paper. You may ask, what is this certification? Well, the FSC certification label guarantees that the trees that are harvested are replaced or allowed to regenerate naturally. The soft green color now can be seen without the packing. It's really nice. Also, the covers are made from degradable fox leather and not as other notebook manufacturers who are using PVC, which is the most toxic plastic. And another thing, and maybe most important, is that all materials that are used are non-animal based and hence 100% vegan. At the first page of every Dingbats Earth collection, you can find more information about the natural area your journal is representing. In this case, it's Yosemite National Park in Ecuador's Amazon basin. You can read about the species diversity, local people, and many other facts. By the way, another lovely thing that Dingbats is doing is that with every purchase from their UK site, they are donating 2% of that value to WWF UK, which is awesome. Okay, let's leave the planet be and focus on our journal. Next page is fully bullet journal inspired, as there is a key example similar to the bullet technique. Also, you have those semicircles so you could index your pages way more easy. Later on, I will show you how I use them in my current Dingbats notebook. We have more pages for cover, case and index. I will pass them quick as I don't use them at all. Usually I draw over them or use them for another purpose as a dashboard. Stay tuned to the end of the video as I will show exactly what I'm talking about. The next interesting pages are the future log pages. They have those sidelines that split every page in 3 equal parts, so it can be way more easy to set up a future log month by month without counting squares like crazy. And here we continue with the normal pages that are numbered, and it's really easy to navigate. The color of the paper is not white but more of a warm white tone color. In the middle also we see 2 bookmarks. Usually I keep the black one on my habit tracker page as it is only at the start of the month, and the colorful one at the current weekly spread, but it's up to you what you want to do with them. As we go at the end of the notebook, I want to show you the perforated pages that Dingbats Earth collection has. The last 10 pages are perforated so you can tear them nice and clean without scissors. It happened to me once or twice that I needed a sheet of paper to write on, so I tore one of the perforated pages from the back. You may never use them, but it's a nice option to have. And here we are at the back of the notebook, and we see the nice jungle theme pattern which I really adore, and also the back pocket with some flares inside about the Dingbats products. The last thing we're going to look at before starting to set up is the pen holder, which honestly I never use, and that's why I'm always looking for my pen. Now let's start with the paper testing. This is the first thing I do every time when I start a new bullet journal. It's really important as every brand has different paper type and they hold ink differently. I open on the second to last page where the test will take place. I do not choose the last because there are no dots on the back and they're really important for the perception of the paper because usually you have dots on both. sides of the paper. I will start with art and twin markers first, as I use them the most and I really love them. I have arranged them by color, as you see, to make it more diligent, and start writing their name with each other of them. I do this for two reasons. The first is that I see how the paper behaves, whether it leaks, whether it gets dirty, or if there is a ghosting. The second reason is that I see how the colors look like on this paper type. Very often, when I'm wondering which color to use for the sprays, I turn on this page and look at them and see how it would combine. Some colors are very close, and for that I additionally write down their color numbers so I can get exactly what I want when I like some color from the back. We make a quick check on the back if something is leaking on the other side, and then we'll go through all the colors as well as other types of markers, and then we'll turn the page again to see if there is any ghosting. The Earth collection of Dingbats has pages with thickness of 100 GSM, which is average for the market. For comparison, the more popular brands such as Moleskine have 80 GSM, and Archer and Olive have 160 GSM. The larger the GSM, which by the way is grams per square meter, and the thicker the paper is, and more it can go with saturated paints such as water-based paints. In the future, I have planned a video to compare different notebooks because each of us needs something different. For me, I have decided that 100 GSM are enough for my painting skills and the decorations I want to paint on the pages. If one day I decide that I want only a simple organizer, I will go with 80 GSM again, and if I decide that I want more watercolor, I will take a paper with 120 GSM or more. If you still do not know what is the best for you, stay till the end of the video and I will show you my last bullet journal, and you can see what are the opportunities of 100 GSM paper. After we finish it with art and twin markers, I will do the test with the Micron thin writers, which are my favorites. I usually use Micron 01 to write in the notebook. An important thing that many people miss is to try ink on the stamps. Personally, I often use stamps on my spread, and it's really important that they're not marked on the other side like a ghosting. And that's why I always check the ink, You got the idea with the pens. In general, you try every pen that you use on the notebook to be sure that there will be no surprises. And we continue with an inkwell and a pen, then we move on the heavy test with watercolors. First I will use Paul Rubens paints that have glitter, and I use a little bit more water to see the paper limit. I'll do the same with the colors of Winsor and Newton, and with that the testing is over. It's time to see what happened on the other side. So we see that there is no ghosting except for the stamp, which is barely visible, but still you can see it. The paper is a bit wavy on the place of the watercolors, but no worries, if you keep your journal closed for like 10 minutes it's gonna be okay. So with this we're finishing our paper test. Now it's time to see how the paper behaves after 1 year of daily use. This is my current burn journal, and the same brand, just different cover. Here we start with the name page and then some drawings. More interesting is the color index I told you about. Every month has its color theme. I'll talk more about this in my next video, and I'll show you there my full setup of the journal. The next page is my blackboard. It is painted with black ink for fountain pens, and there is no leaking in the back. You can see that I paint over the K page because, as I said, I don't use it at all. Here you can see my reading tracker. The galaxy is made only with watercolors and the paper is not even wavy. Here in the ghost page you can see again a little bit of watercoloring. In my spread I often use watercolors or other heavy paints, so if you don't put a lot of water, Dingbats performs amazing. Here is another heavy watercolor painting with a lot of colors and a lot of layers. I try to keep those paintings on the inner part of the journal because it's way more easy to control the waving if there is any at all. At the end we can see the page we did today in the new journal. Here actually I made the pen testing on the last page. You know, I told you that on the back there are no dots, and honestly it looks like it's leaking way more, but it's not. It's just perception of the dots. I don't know, it's just like this. So I'm also using the last page as a sketch page when I want to see any combination of the colors or doodles before drawing them into the spread. Here you can see the leaf design from March, where I tried to see other combinations. The same applies for my other designs. Here you can see how full is my back pocket, and I adore it. It's so helpful in some cases. And with this we finished our paper testing on Dingbats notebooks. Of course you can do this with every brand notebook, and I hope I explained properly why the paper test should be your first step while setting up a new bullet journal. More videos are coming on the way. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. And yep, see you next time folks, and don't forget to stay on the sunny side.